start with a weekly cock of the walk, and that goes to one Mac McClung of the G League, the Bulls G League affiliate. I think it's the Windy City Bulls is the name of their G League team. He scored 58 points in a G League game a couple nights ago, breaking the G League single game scoring record. He also is the leading...
Held by Kevin Ware, right?
I believe so, yes. And he is...
Not Kevin Ware. No, Kevin Ware's the guy who broke his leg.
Yeah, the Louisville player. I don't know who you're talking about then.
He was a Louisville player.
The guy that held the record?
Yes. That was on that team.
Anyway,
I'll find it.
Yeah, please, because I'm curious. Matt McClung now holds the record. I think he also holds the records for highest points per game in his G League career, like 24, something like that. He's just a bucket
Bronny's
getter.
at 18. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Saw a tweet about that.
I did see that tweet as well.
Russ Smith.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really hard to find a cock of the walk. I'm not trying to diminish Mac McClung's achievement, but most weeks this is probably not making the cut. But congrats to Mac McClung.
I mean,
maybe
2 weeks ago we had Bam for his, breaking the NBA scoring record. So kind of appropriate that
he broke Kobe's.
Oh, excuse me. He broke Kobe's. And then appropriate that 2 weeks later, Mac McClung, who we all figured would be the guy to break the G League record, breaks the G League record. It's kind of one and the same. We all picked Bam Adebayo to break Kobe's record, and then we all had Mac McClung kind of, singled out from the start of the season as the guy who would break this record.
I do believe I saw Kevin Porter Jr. say he now has to go break Bam's record.
In honor of Kobe.
In honor of Kobe, because it's like Bam can't hold that record.
Kevin Porter Jr. said that he...
Yeah.
So why is him that more respectful to Kobe than Bam breaking
Maybe
it?
because he's like a Kobe disciple in his eyes or something. I have no idea.
Kevin
Porter Jr.
kind of the
is also just never doing it.
Yeah.
So
everybody's a streamer now, too.
Yeah.
So
well, okay, we'll get to that. We'll go in and roll into winner or chicken dinner because we'll get to that in a minute potentially. My winner and chicken dinner is very near and dear to my heart, and that is UVA, and more specifically UVA women's basketball team for being the first four team in women's March Madness history to make the second weekend, beating Arizona State in the first four game, and then they beat Georgia in the round of 64, and then toppled Iowa at home, 2-seed Iowa, in the round of 32 to reach the Sweet 16. Big run from them. The women's first four has not been around for a very long time.
Like 4 or 5 years, I think.
Yeah. That doesn't mean they're not the first team to do it. So shout out to them. Big achievement. I'm interested to see if they have any chance against TCU.
Mississippi State had to walk so y'all could run 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We won our first 2 games, the first 4 game, round of 64, and then lost to Notre Dame by 5. So we kind of had to lay the groundwork for y'all to be able to actually get the job done.
Miami Heat had to walk so the Charlotte Hornets could win the finals this year.
How so?
Miami Heat
was the 7 seed.
We're a play-in team. We're the 8 seed.
Oh,
yeah,
8 seed.
and
Sorry.
Made the finals, lost to the
True.
Nuggets. Now the Hornets can do the same.
Crazy the Heat are just going to be a play-in team for the 4th year in a row.
Yeah.
But their brethren, the Hawks, may be too good, and the Bulls are going to be too bad. So they're going to be all alone in the East play-in, joined by new faces. I wonder how they feel about that. I know Bam doesn't like it. He mentioned that he was getting mad at Coach Spoelstra after Spoelstra pulled from the game. He was asked the game after, and he basically was like, well, I don't want to be in the effing play-in. So I was like, well, sorry, Coach. Maybe score 83
Would you rather
points
just
again.
not make the playoff, or he'd rather be out of it?
I think
he'd rather be.
I think he'd rather be a 6 seed or higher.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most teams would rather be higher.
Yeah, this is true. On to the rotten egg.
The rotten egg.
And this is what I was talking about a minute ago. This is not the official rotten egg, but I almost went this direction. And it was just player podcasts in general, because they just got to stop. There's a couple good ones, but for the most part, you're not actually really giving us anything of substance. You just decided you want to start a podcast to start a podcast. And I mean, I am holding a mic on a podcast right now, but I'm not an NBA player, so it doesn't apply.
We should have podcasts for a different variety of reasons.
Correct. Sure. If you look at the TikTok,
What a save! What a save! What a save!
What?
Rocket League.
Oh, did we just have a save in soccer?
We just saved what should have been 2-1 Albania.
Is your goalie wearing a mask as well?
I think so.
Anyway, the one I saw recently, Derek White. I love Derek White. Former Spur. Was kind of one of the last good success stories in terms of that era and drafting some guy late in the draft. I think it was the 30th overall pick out of Colorado. Ended up being our kind of breakout player the last year we went to the playoffs. Scored 30 in a game against the Nuggets, and then we traded him away in our rebuild to the Celtics. Nothing but love for Derek White. But he started a podcast a couple months ago, and it starts off as they always do, like, here's what I do in a day, like, here's my game day routine, like, here's how I train, like, I play video games, what are my free time. And then this past week, all of a sudden, Derek White's on his podcast being like, I don't believe the moon landing happened. And it's like, okay, so this is,
He's got a platform.
This is the progression.
He can use it.
Similarly, the Ball brothers have a podcast.
Oh. Yeah, that was a bad clip.
And Lonzo Ball basically asks, with your girl, like, how long does it take for you to stop using condoms? And it's like, y'all, you just were like, how? Like, I know you have money, so like, you don't like need to do this.
By the way,
for
it
money.
was like the question was on a card, like we're playing Family Feud. He was like reading questions off a card. Yes, put with the video portion to this podcast.
His brother Leandro said, if it's his girl, first date.
We just, dude, I look away and we score again.
Let's go. You gotta keep looking away then.
Apparently.
But this is Michael Porter Jr. this offseason. This is why I'm saying, like, player podcasts need to stop, because if it gets to a point where you don't have a podcast for any
what a screamer
proactive or like constructive intentional reason,
you're
just gonna end up saying something you regret.
Yeah.
Now I think less of Derek White potentially because he didn't think the moon landing happened.
Well, I would, don't let that lower your Don't let that lower your estimation of him.
That's a screamer.
He's entitled to his opinions.
He is entitled to his opinions.
But it is funny that they ran out of content that fast. They ran out of material that fast to where it's like, we're going to play Family Feud and talk about... I mean, that's crazy from the Ball brothers. That is crazy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like styled like a Family Feud question. It's just like it was on a cue card.
Okay.
Yeah. But at that point, I'm moving on to the next, or you just don't play the game. Also of note, the one Ball brother that's not there is LaMelo, because LaMelo is...
playing in the NBA.
Yeah, playing and still successful. It was LaMelo and LiAngelo, and then some guy I didn't know, one of their friends, I guess. But yeah, but just maybe not. And I hope that if we ever get to the point where, like, we are no longer being constructive, that someone just, tells us to shut it down. Someone does us a solid and is like, maybe it's time to hang it up if we just kind of lose our touch and lose steam.
Yeah.
And they never really had any steam to start with. My actual rotten egg, however, after that ramble, is the Houston Rockets for blowing a 13-point lead in overtime last night to the Timberwolves. And after a couple minutes in overtime, they were up 13. And the Timberwolves are down 4 starters, either due to injury and they didn't play, or Gobert fouled out in regulation. And then shout out Scott Foster ejects Nas Reed in overtime for saying he was moving, about disagreeing with a call. But the Timberwolves closed on a 15-0 run to win that game. Rockets have been playing bad ball of late in general, but it's a new record. That's history.
Yeah, it was a 13-0 run followed by a 15-0 run.
Correct. The largest blown lead in overtime in NBA history. So congrats to the Rockets. It was a great watch because also it happens in Target Center.
It was in Minnesota. Target Center, I think, is what it's called.
I know it's Target Field is the Twin Stadium. So then, I'm like, is it also just
Target
Center? It
has been called Target Center at
or am
some
I just
point.
making it up? Okay.
So I don't know if it still is.
We'll roll with it as Target Center. But the crowd's going crazy. At the end of the game, they're chanting, like, nice try, Scott Foster, but we still won, stuff like that. And it's an all-time
How do you
moment.
chant that?
I don't know. Because that's also not exactly what they said is the problem. But
okay.
it was something along those lines of, like...
That's a long chant. That would take, like, European soccer levels coordination.
Maybe they have it like that.
We need some of those, like in college football, that should just be a thing already.
I agree.